Hey everyone, welcome back. This is a very, very monumental episode of the Sister Sip.
Very exciting.
Because if you missed the news on Instagram, obviously you know now. Jayla is
Pregnant.
with child. Also a little sick.
Yeah, excuse if I cough or anything or sound a little nasally during this. I'm getting over something.
I'm so excited to talk all things pregnancy,
Yes.
get all the juicy details, and hear all about it.
Yeah.
It has been so fun. And the last episode, it was kind of funny. I think we filmed it a little bit after I had found out, maybe a week or so.
Not even. I think it was just a couple. I think I told you on Sunday.
Yeah. And then we filmed it a couple days later. And I remember you said, I don't really have any life updates because literally the only life update was that you were pregnant.
Especially the only one that seemed halfway important. I mean, that is very important. But talking about other life updates, well, I'm pregnant. That's a huge one.
Yeah. That's kind of the biggest thing and the only thing I can think of right now. So anyways, it's fun to finally be able to talk about it. The news is out. I bet it was really hard to keep it in, or was it?
It was annoying before we told anyone. Once we had told close friends and family, we still waited to tell aunts and uncles for a little bit and everyone else. But yeah, this we found out since then I've moved up to says I was a little bit, I guess, farther along than maybe I thought I was. But the day I found out for sure, my app was only said 3 weeks, 2 days.
Yeah, you found out
so early.
So early.
Sorry, I feel like I'm going to be coughing a lot.
Oh, well, I guess.
And so, of course, it felt like it was forever till we could tell. Because we wanted to wait till we had our first ultrasound appointment, around 8 weeks to tell people. And so, yeah, it felt and it was over family Christmases, going to Florida, that we had to keep it all in. So it wasn't we weren't going to be seeing people.
I thought, because we went to Florida, we talked about that in our last episode. And I was literally, I kind of wondered if you were pregnant. Obviously, we talk about everything together. So I knew you guys kind of wanted kids.
And we'd also been talking just a lot in our friend group, I feel lately, about pregnancy.
Different people are pregnant.
Yeah.
And so I told Keegan, I was like, I just feel like Jayla's pregnant and she's going to announce it in Florida. And there were several times I just kept waiting for it. And you and Oliver would be gone. And I thought maybe Oliver would come out and be holding a onesie or something.
Yeah.
There were times I had butterflies in my stomach because I was and then it never happened. And I was like, wait, obviously I don't trust my intuition. I don't feel like I'm a super intuition person. But I was like, man, I was sure. I don't know. There's something. I felt like you guys just seemed more giddy or something.
We
I don't even
were
know.
Full on when we were on our way to Florida, planning on telling everyone. Then had brought my pregnancy test. I was kind of bummed to have to tell that early because I wanted to wait till we had an ultrasound to tell family. But there's a hot tub where we were staying, and so I was like, well, it's going to be really obvious if I say I can't use the hot tub.
Yeah. Especially because we had talked about it. If you were, and you love water. Typically you're always the first one to want to be in the hot tub, the pool. So if you say you don't want it, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
No, I
well,
know.
we ended up never even using the hot tub, and so we never ended up telling.
Yeah.
And I was kind of glad. I was so I had to get my blood work done, I think 3 times before my ultrasound. Anyway, so I got my blood work done for the second time because I guess my levels still weren't super high, or they wanted to see them higher. I think it was your HCG levels. So I got it done, went to Florida, then they called me while I was in Florida and told me that the doctor wanted to see them double in the next 3 days or something. So if I could come in that week while we were in Florida. So I couldn't obviously come in that week, so I had to go in the next week. But anyway, it honestly kind of gave me a little bit of anxiety then.
Yeah,
so
if they're your levels aren't quite as high, you're
I'm they didn't necessarily say anything that they were concerningly low. It was just oh, I would have thought by then I was my second time getting blood work, they would have been a really good number.
Yeah.
So the number they told me didn't seem very high at all. Of course, when you Google it, then it's
what was the number?
I feel like it was only 30 or something.
Okay.
I want to say 30 something, and when I had taken it, I think it was at 5 weeks.
Okay.
And so I would have thought it would have been in the thousands or hundreds by then, because when I took it again, then it was a lot. So I was like, that seems kind of low. So then I was like, I just don't want to tell anyone yet before
Yeah.
When, like, things don't, like, or still seem a little bit skeptical and stuff as far as, like, having a healthy pregnancy. But so then I was just like, I really didn't want to tell anyone, and I was glad we didn't have to tell anyone.
Yeah, you were never put in an awkward situation. Well, I guess we never even said what we were drinking. We made a little fancy mocktail for us to celebrate this exciting episode. It's literally so simple. Ooh. Is it so sour? I wondered
if so sweet.
Oh, sweet. Maybe your taste is just...
I am sensitive to things being super sweet to drinks, I think.
Okay,
I mean, it's like a natural sweet. Is there honey in it?
No, I didn't put any sweetener.
But it's the ginger beer probably made it extra sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that brand of ginger beer was. So basically what I put in it was, like, at Aldi, they have this, like, fruit mix. It has, like...
antioxidant.
Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
Is it antioxidant? Is that... I don't know.
I don't know.
Basically, like, an organic mix of a lot of really good fruits, I felt like, that are probably good for pregnancy. Not that I was, like, trying to get that, but I already had that at home. Yeah. And it has, like, pomegranate, tart cherry, like, that kind of thing. Added some lime juice. So, when you were like, ooh, I thought it was maybe too sour, but no, it's good. And then topped it off with some ginger beer.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
But this is, like, an easy way to, like, make something that feels fancy, but it's, like, super easy.
Oh, yeah.
So,
are we kind of even going to talk about what's been brewing?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to skip over unless, like, I don't have anything crazy to talk about. I feel like all that people care about is hearing about.
Well, it's like, that kind of feels like obviously a big life update. For me is that I'm pregnant, and that's kind of what we're talking about today, so.
Tell us a little bit about me acting like I haven't heard some of this.
I won't share. I think you remember this story, but this is just a funny story. I just was remembering again today, I think. And the one about Oliver drinking out of the cup.
Oh, my word.
Now I can share it. So it was like, I don't know if it was a cycle we got pregnant or not, but I had like a little pee cup that I was just reusing. I think I was using it for tracking my ovulation. So like, when you track your ovulation, you can like pee in a cup and use these strips. You do it like, so it could be like multiple days in a row that you're tracking it. So I didn't want to throw the cup away. So it was so funny. So I just like kept the cup. I had like rinsed it out.
Kept it by the sink.
I think I just kept it by the sink. I should have like put it underneath the sink or something. And Oliver like walks into our bedroom one night and I saw him drinking out of that cup. And I was like, oh, that was my pee cup.
Ew.
He was so annoyed, and it was so funny because I get like why he was annoyed, but also like, well, sorry, like I should have put it somewhere else, I guess. But like,
you just picked up a random dirty cup.
I didn't fill up the cup for you to drink out. It was just so funny, just the look on his face, and it was like,
that's the cup you've been peeing in for.
Yeah, he's drinking out of that clear cup, and I'm like, oh, that is my pee cup.
That's funny. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I had the early. Well, like 6-day early pregnancy tests.
What brand?
I think it's Clear Blue.
Okay.
Just the one that had like two, like there's two lines, not like the one that says like digitally pregnant or whatever. I took one on Saturday because that was like I think 6 days before the first day of my period, which is it's like 5 or 6 days is when you can first.
That's
start
like
to
the earliest.
So I took one that morning. You need to use like early morning pee. I'm sorry about all this coughing. Anyway. I took one Saturday morning, and I was like, I think Oliver was still sleeping, so I think I took it super early because I pee usually at least once in the middle of the night and once probably early morning. And so I was like, well, I want to use like the freshest pee or whatever.
The most pungent.
So like if you're like, I can't just wait till like 8 o'clock because I've already have like peed that morning by then. So I took one, and it was like maybe there was a second line. Like, even if you hold it, like, just at the right angle. Like, it was so faint. Like, it was not very obvious. So faint. Like, you had to just, like, kind of, like, hold it different directions. And so then I told Oliver, I was like, maybe I'm pregnant. And I feel like he didn't want to get his hopes up, obviously. Yeah. And so I was, like, Googling, like, you know, really faint images. And it's, like, obviously any line. Yeah. Any second line can mean you're pregnant. But I was like, I know I'm just going to have to wait till the next day to confirm it. Till Sunday to confirm it. So then Sunday morning rolls around. I don't know if it was like 5 in the morning around then. Once again, I took a test. Oliver was still sleeping. I feel like we had already had this conversation the night before, because he can sleep in more than me sometimes.
Yeah.
But then like,
was it like on your mind? Was it like making it hard to sleep? Like, ooh, I might be pregnant.
Well, I think once I woke up that morning,
yeah,
to pee, obviously. Anyway, I had this conversation about like whether I was gonna wake him up or not, because I can tend to like wake up before him, like on the weekends, and then just like start talking or something.
Yeah.
And he wanted to sleep in, and then I was like, well, what if I'm pregnant? Like, do you want, me to wake you up or whatever? And so it was like 5 or something. Went and took the test. I am not someone who had like a huge reaction.
Okay,
Obviously,
that's what I wanted to
excited,
ask. Yeah.
But I feel like, so I was like, okay. So I kind of like thought maybe I was pregnant, but of course I didn't know for sure. So I took a test, saw there was still a faint line, but it was like a very obvious second line.
Yeah, it was,
there was at least
darker.
It was faint, but it was like actually obviously a second line. Like you could see it. I feel like I was just like, wow, I'm pregnant. Like I don't think I even said anything. It was like, I just don't have this big like huge reaction. And so then I just went back to bed. I didn't want to wake Oliver up.
Oh my word.
So I was just like scrolling on my phone for hours. I feel like on Reels.
Yeah.
And then I like got up, maybe started making breakfast. I was like, well, I need to tell Oliver. And so I don't know what time it was. This was Sunday morning. And then I just like came into the room with a test, I think, and was like, I'm pregnant. I think he had just woken up. Anyway, he was so excited, and it was really fun telling him. I mean,
that is
like,
so fun.
Yeah, like I am pregnant.
Yeah.
And it was really fun that day too. For those of you who don't know, some of our best friends are pregnant. That day that we found out, that Sunday, we went out to eat with our friends, and 2 of our best friends were also pregnant. Like they told all of us that they were pregnant that day, which was so fun, because we're like, we kind of know that they were wanting a baby too.
Yeah.
And when we found out, I was kind of like, I wonder like what if they told us they were pregnant, like would we tell them we were pregnant?
Yeah.
And like I was like hoping that they would hopefully get pregnant soon too, because
then it'd be fun to be pregnant at the same time.
Anyway, it was so fun like that day for them to tell us they were pregnant. We didn't say anything yet, but it was like now we knew, like, okay, they're pregnant too.
Yeah,
so
you have like somebody
fun
to go through it with and
Yes.
everything. Yeah, that is fun.
But yeah, as we've talked about before, I'm not a very good liar, so I don't know how I kept it from everyone for that many weeks. I think
that was another thing that was making me like second guess myself. I was like, Jayla is not going to be able to like hide it, because you have a look on your face like you just are not good at like fibbing or anything. So yeah, I was actually like very impressed that, because you didn't just like avoid the topic of pregnancy, like because we have friends that are pregnant, like it would just be a conversation all the time, and you would just be talking about it, and I'd be like, huh, you're not like acting weird about it, really.
I think it helped that that Sunday we found out, we like hung out with friends that day, obviously talked about pregnancy like normal. Yeah. And I just like was forced into it right away. Like just to talk about it and not. So I don't know if that helped. I remember like, kind of being proud of myself at the end of the day for being able to pull it off.
That is like what I like dread about like whenever we would get pregnant, is like keeping it from people. Yeah. Like it literally makes me like anxious to start thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll just tell everybody right away. Yeah. I just obviously I don't know, but
and then once like we had Christmases, I think it helped also that I wasn't feeling a lot of symptoms. Like if I was nauseous and throwing up, like it'd be really hard to hide when I was around people, especially at Christmases when you were like are with family for a couple days in a row. So I think it was like, since it wasn't like I didn't really have any physical symptoms that I was pregnant that you could see that much, it was like a lot easier to hide.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying to think if I have anything else that I wanted to ask you before I get into the questions. I did a question box on Instagram just for you guys to submit some questions that you have for Jayla about pregnancy, the baby. So I think I'll just go ahead and get into those.
And I also just want to acknowledge, like, I realize how blessed I am to be pregnant. I know there's a lot of women out there who struggle to get pregnant, who maybe have never been able to. And, I truly like, and it is crazy just like how blessed I am to be pregnant right now, especially like hearing other people's stories.
Yeah. I know, it's like such a miracle and such a gift.
And it's hard, like, why for some people they just can't, and for some people it can come super easy or whatever. And so, I'm just, very grateful for that, and just wanted to acknowledge that.
Yeah. our heart goes out to you
Yeah.
if you're like
have
maybe
struggled in
a
that
season
area.
of waiting or even
Expe-
have
yeah.
lost babies.
Yeah.
So, all right. First question is, when are you due? Are you sharing your due date?
I will share my due date. So it is August 18th, I believe. So, of course, I know due dates are kind of like, you never know.
They don't mean
but
much.
Yeah.
But it's
Kinda
still fun to
interesting.
kind of
Yeah.
have a date.
Yeah.
Whatever. Which it changed, didn't it?
Yeah, originally when I found out it was like August 22nd. That's what my app said. But then when I went in to get like my ultrasound, I'm pretty sure she said the 18th, and I went in to get a second one somewhere else, and they said the 18th. So I think it's the 18th.
Yeah. So it'll be an exciting summer.
Yes. I know, like, I'm so excited to have a summer baby, honestly. I know that it's like, yeah, it'll be huge during July and August or whatever. But I feel like just, I do not like the winter. After going through this winter with, like, just getting sick, like, the cold or fever, whatever, I'm just ready for summer to come. And I feel like there's a lot better chance of me not being sick in the summer. And it's just, the vibes are just so much more just, like, cheerful and sunny. Like, I would rather just, like, go through, like, the end of pregnancy where I'm uncomfortable and feeling, you know, not the best, whatever, just like when it's like nice outside.
Yeah. And we were talking about this yesterday with Riley, the other friend that's pregnant, and just like postpartum, like going out and like being able to just be in your backyard with your baby, get sunshine, like,
yeah,
you know, obviously a little bit after,
yeah,
you know, not like maybe the first day, but
yeah.
Yeah, it does sound kind of
so
nice
I'm like,
for
you know
not to
what?
be the
I
dead
think
of
that'll
winter.
be nice. Yeah.
I feel like there's probably pros and cons to every
I think so
time,
too. I mean,
like-
there could always be. Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, you know what? That will be nice.
Okay, you already kind of answered this. I don't know if you have anything more to elaborate, which was what was Oliver's reaction?
Yeah.
Which neither of you, like you said, you're not dramatic and Oliver's not dramatic
He probably had a better reaction than me, which of course I just found out by myself. I feel like, I mean, he was very excited.
Yeah.
Just like gave me a hug. Yeah, it was like not this big, like I didn't set up this big cute little thing for him. But yeah, it was cute. I mean, he was
feel
very
like that's
excited.
just kind of like real life
Yeah,
too.
I
Just
do feel like he had a
hey.
better, probably like, had a better reaction than me. Like I was excited for it. For me, I feel like I was just like, it almost like didn't feel real.
Yeah, like you
Till-
couldn't process
It's
it.
like especially since I found out so early, I was like, okay, I just want to make it to like, what, like week 4, now week 5, now week 6, like all those early weeks, like just wanting to make it past those weeks. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It was just like, I feel like it took me a while just to like completely like accept the idea is probably not the right word because I was really excited for it and wanting it, but just like accept it as
feel
a
real.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, like thinking that it
I
felt
can
very
see
real.
that. And if you didn't experience a lot of symptoms, it's
Yeah.
like I literally don't feel any different.
Yeah, I
know?
didn't have many symptoms.
Will you be finding out gender?
Definitely, yes. So hopefully by the end of March we should know. I'm thinking surely by then we'll be around 20 weeks in. So I'm hoping to get an appointment at like 18 weeks. 'Cause of course I want to find out as soon as possible. So yeah, we are definitely
I guess if
planning
it's
on,
early enough,
yeah.
probably not. But like maybe you would know by next episode.
I was thinking that, but I was like probably not by the time we
Yeah.
film it and stuff.
Okay. It said y'all, so maybe both of us. Do you think it's a boy or a girl? Do
I
you
feel
have
like
any intuition?
We've been thinking boy, or we just, Oliver and I have just been thinking boy. Especially at first. Now I'm like, well, maybe it's a girl. So I don't really know.
I was thinking boy like right at first too. Like I was just like, yeah, boy. And I still feel that way. It's been a little bit more like, wait, maybe not.
It seems for some reason that there's a higher chance it's going to be a boy than a girl. Like if it's a girl, it'll be more shocking than if it's a boy.
Yes, for some reason, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's like a lot of people in our life have been having boys.
I don't know.
I don't know why. But yeah, I will be more surprised if it's a girl.
Yes, same. I feel like that'll be like, oh wow, it's a girl. But
Yeah.
either way, we'll be very excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to find out the gender. That's always so fun. And it makes it like really real. Like it makes the baby even more of like
I think so. Because
like-
even now, it's like I guess it's just my personality. I'm not someone who feels like, oh, I'm so attached to my baby right now.
yeah.
Like I guess it's just, I don't know. I don't think that's really a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
which you're probably not feeling like any kicking or anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's probably kind of normal
Yeah.
for the beginning.
but then like once we find out the gender, then of course we'll like settle on a name and like can get those specific clothes, like start shopping more specific, and it'll probably become,
Even more
yes.
real. Are you planning to do a gender reveal, like party or any? I feel like everyone's been asking you that.
If we do one, it'll literally just be immediate family. I think they're fun. It sounds a little bit overwhelming to host one in the winter because it's just not like, if it was like we could do it outside, like grill hot dogs, whatever, do something really easy like that. Like that sounds a lot more low key, but it's like it's gonna have to be indoors. And I don't want to do it like at the church or something. Like I'd rather just like
do it at home.
Yeah. And depending on when we find out, it's kind of a busy, like at the end of March we have a family wedding, plus we're going to Texas like for around a week. And so it's like if it's close to any of those things, like it might just not work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not like dead set on having a gender reveal
I know.
party.
I feel like you're kind of like
I would be fine not doing one.
It.
I feel like if I did one, it would definitely be like for the family. And it would be really fun to do one, but I'm not like something I have to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be very simple, I'm sure, if we did do one.
What was the earliest sign that you were pregnant? Did you have any symptoms?
So it was kind of odd. That Sunday when we found out, I had already purchased the prenatal that I liked because I think it was on sale, like over Black Friday or something. It was one I knew I wanted to use, and so I just got it just to have on hand whenever I did find out I was pregnant. And I started taking it that day then on Sunday. And that day and the next day I was like nauseous. And so I was like, it wasn't my prenatal, but then the nauseousness went away because I was like, oh no, like this is like the start of, being super nauseous and like being sensitive to smells or whatever. But it was just those 2 days really that were the worst. And I don't know if it was my prenatal or not. It just seemed kind of odd that it started like, it was just that I found out so early on. It like started the day that I like basically found out and started taking the prenatal. I don't know if it was like my body adjusting to it or if it was just the pregnancy thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's interesting. It only lasted 2 days, which I do want to talk about like how first trimester was for you versus second trimester. Like, so you haven't had a lot of nausea.
No, I have experienced, I feel like, a little bit more nausea the second trimester. But also it's kind of been hard to say because, like, I feel like basically right when I got in my second trimester, I got, like, sick. Like, coughing, a fever. So, like, that is probably playing into some of this, too. And then, of course, being pregnant on top of that.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of hard to know. Today, I didn't feel super nauseous, though. But I feel like the last maybe a couple days I would feel a little bit nauseous, but I don't feel like anything like it was those first 2 days. I feel like the biggest pregnancy symptom was peeing so much in the middle of the night. That I think started to get better, but like sometimes I feel like it would probably be like 5 or 6 times a night. So it's just crazy. Like sleeping really light because it's like you wake up to pee, and I would this is like my water bottle for those of you who are watching. I guess I don't know what size it is. I could drink I think about a full one of these a night. Like I'd have to refill it by the time morning came.
So you were thirsty too?
Yes, because I think every time I woke up to pee, then it's usually every time you wake up, at least for me, I feel like I need to drink too. So since I was waking up quite often, then I need to drink too, and but that started to get better, and maybe it was kind of hard to tell. I feel like I was maybe extra tired in the winter. My days off at home, I'd be so tired. But I'm is it just because I'm pregnant, or is it because it's the winter out, or maybe a combination of both?
Yeah.
Wasn't super deep exhaustion, but I felt like I did have some extra exhaustion that I especially felt when I was at home.
Yeah. And you said today you felt
tired. Today I was at home, and I feel like it was hard for me to get a lot done. There would just be spurts that I could get stuff done, and then it's sometimes it's you did not have very much energy at all. Oh, and I think I've also experienced, a lot of food does not sound good to me. So it's been kind of hard to, make suppers. I think maybe that's starting to get better. But it's when a lot of food doesn't sound that great, it's ugh, what do you make?
Yeah.
And I feel like I have almost, eaten less than I normally would. Before pregnancy, so it's almost like I'm losing weight. Mm-hmm. Not a scary amount, and maybe I haven't really been losing weight. I feel like I just have not been able to eat quite as much as I normally do. Like, I don't know, not a ton less, but I feel like I would think I would have been eating more. Like,
Yeah,
feeling
normally
pregnant,
like it's like you're super
which
hungry.
I'm sure
maybe.
that will still come. But yeah, so I feel like I haven't been showing as much, probably because of that. So like I definitely like feel like I have more of something than I normally do.
Yeah.
My stomach, but like not a lot. I feel like maybe, of course, it's my first pregnancy, so it can take you longer to show. But also, I feel like it's not like I've been like able to eat a ton or a ton more, or even like I feel like what I normally would be eating.
Who do you want in the room with you when you give birth?
Okay, should I kind of talk about? Or did someone ask where I'm giving birth?
I don't think that was a
So
question.
I'll kind of tell you, I guess, what my plan is.
I guess somebody did ask, which I can skip to that. Somebody asked if you're doing a home birth or a hospital birth.
Okay,
too.
so I am planning on doing, with that question, just answer that first, a birthing center. I really like the idea of a home birth, and I would like to do that for probably my second. I think I was just more comfortable not doing that with my first.
Mm-hmm.
But I plan there is a birthing center like probably like 20 minutes away from us that I plan to use, which hopefully like a birthing center can be a little bit more kind of like having a home birth. I mean, it's obviously not at home, but I think it could be a lot more chill. Like at home, like you have I think a pretty nice birthing suite, not near as many like medical interventions, I don't think, as far as like there being tons of doctors or whatever in there. And typically I think you can get away with doing more stuff. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, like a water birth. I know in hospitals I don't think you're allowed to have a water birth. I think you can maybe like labor and
maybe every hospital's different. I have no
but
idea.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to. And like I would definitely want to do a water birth. I mean, that's my plan as of now. Of course it could change. And I want to, have as little interventions as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just like the idea of a birth center because it felt a little bit more that way than a hospital would be. And a little bit, it's like, I think basically attached to the hospital. So you kind of have the peace of mind of being right there by a hospital too. Just, in case you needed to transfer over to there. But I actually have my first official appointment with a midwife on Friday. And so I'm excited to ask her a bunch of questions about that because I'm not exactly sure like how many people can be in the room. I'm sure as many as I want. The plan right now, of course, me and my husband, and I'm hoping just to like have one nurse or one midwife or doctor. They're like, I don't want a bunch of people in there at all. So at least, those 3 people. And then I'm considering, I would like to have a doula. The truth is I don't want to spend the money on a doula. But I'm thinking about maybe asking a friend or someone to just kind of be there to support me as kind of like the role of a doula during birth. I mean, just like to help support me there. Obviously my husband will be there, but I think it would be nice to have someone else there too. I'm not sure yet. But the plan right now would just be me and my husband and 1 or 2 medical people.
Yeah.
But possibly I'll ask someone else, but I don't want a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, this is kind of more of a fun question. If money wasn't an issue, what's one ridiculous but fun baby-related thing you'd want? So maybe not even ridiculous. What's just like one thing? Because you're very much not like, you're kind of a no-nonsense. Like, you wouldn't splurge on anything.
I know. I'm like trying to think of what would I splurge on.
Like if somebody was like, I will buy you like one thing, like money unlimited for you or the baby.
I don't even know probably all the products out there that I could buy. Because I'm like, what more do you need? Like, what, like just a really nice crib? There is some really cute cribs. Have you seen that crib? Is it like Nest?
I don't know.
Something? I forget. I
haven't been looking at cribs.
I think I got ads for it quite a while ago. It like has wheels on it and it rolls around and it can like be really tiny, like by the bed. Oh
yes, actually I have seen that.
Or it can like, and then it turns into like a toddler bed too. That's really nice, but I would never register for it. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
But like maybe that. I'm like how nice, like okay, like how nice of products can you get? Like strollers or something. It's like, well, I mean, you can only surely spend so much money on one.
Yeah.
Or maybe a nice car if that is a baby related item. Getting a nice new car.
A really nice like mom.
I don't know though. I guess probably the crib.
Yeah.
Just that nice crib. I don't know. I don't really have a big opinion on that, I guess. I don't really know all my nice options that I could be getting.
Yeah, maybe you'd have a different answer after you had a baby. First, congratulations. Pregnancy is a very wonderful experience. How are you feeling? I guess you kind of already covered that. Second trimester has been
I feel like all
way
I've
more
experienced
symptoms.
It's just because, like, happened to get sick then.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to, like, give a true, like, how I've been feeling because it's like, well, obviously with having the cold and stuff, I've not been feeling great.
Yeah. Based on how your pregnancy is going so far, what kind of personality do you think your baby will have?
I have no idea how to answer that.
It's like you don't feel the baby.
I don't feel the baby. Because like once you can, like, you know, feel the baby kicking or like, or if I had a lot of symptoms like throwing up all the time, then I'd be like, oh, this baby, this or that.
Yeah.
But I have not felt much at all.
Yeah.
So I don't even know at all what its personality will be.
I know. That's such a... And I feel like certain people have such, like, strong intuition about those kind of things. Even just the gender. Like, some people are just like, oh, I knew immediately what the gender was without actually knowing. Yeah. And I feel like you're not as much that way. I'm definitely not that way. Yeah. So I probably wouldn't know either. Or name something that you two struggle to agree on. My husband and I have very different styles of names that we like, and it's nearly impossible to find ones that we can agree on. He likes older names because they're simple, and I like more flowy, beautiful names.
I actually feel like it hasn't been as much of a struggle as maybe I would have thought. So I feel like all the names that we like are ones that I think I have thought of, or maybe already had saved in my baby name list, and he liked them too. Like, I think some of the ones I had down he didn't really like, and so it's like, okay, we're not going to do those. But for most of all, I feel like we have similar
like a few
taste.
You agree on.
There's a couple that he has came up with, but I can't tell if he's being serious.
That's funny. Do you have any examples?
No's. He wouldn't want me to say this because he probably thinks we might actually use it, and we're not going to. But this name, I feel like, is like what we started calling the baby right away.
Oh, that's funny.
Maybe I'll tell you later. I probably won't say it on the podcast.
Oh,
We're probably not going to use it, but we definitely will not use it. I don't like it at all. But I don't.
What if somebody out there named their baby
exactly?
That?
I don't want. Yeah. And funny. It's not a bad name. It just does not match the vibes at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like he started calling it that right away. Mm-hmm. And it's like a boy name too.
See, okay, that's another thing that I was going to mention with the boy. I feel like subconsciously I've been saying like he, like I just think of it as a he. Yeah. And I feel like even when you got your most recent ultrasound, and I came over and took your pictures, and then Keegan came, and I was like, Keegan, do you want to see the picture of your nephew? And then I was like, oh, I don't even know why I like. Yeah. Your niece or nephew. Like, it just feels like it just comes out.
I feel like a lot of people are thinking that. I know.
As boy, but so it'll be a fun surprise if it's a girl, I guess. Do you have like names kind of picked out for a boy and a girl?
We have 2 boy names we like and 2 girl names we like. I feel like out of those sets, there's like one I like more than the other, or probably will use more than the other. There's one girl name like I loved. I had like heard it maybe in a book. I think I heard it first in a book. Actually, it was interesting. Heard that one in a book, and then the second name I just like since being pregnant really liked. I listened to a book recently, and her name was that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah. But that first name that I like loved, now that I'm actually pregnant, I'm not for sure if we'll use it or not. Yeah. I think it is really cute, and I think it would go really, like, we might use it later on. But I feel like the one I like more than the other. But they're both really cute, so I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe, like, when you find out the gender, maybe you will start to feel like a personality or I don't know, or something where you're like, I just am feeling, this name. Okay, that is all the questions. I mean, if we didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. There were some like repeats, so I just kind of chose one of them. One of them. So thank you so much for submitting the questions.
Yes, that was fun.
Anything else that you want to share about pregnancy? I'm like trying to think if I had anything else. I guess how I found out. Maybe people want to know.
I told you.
We just got back from Kansas.
Yes.
And you were babysitting the little kitties.
Yes. And we had told his parents that day, so we were over at their house. We live right beside his parents. And I was like wondering when they were going to come to pick up their kitties because we wanted to be at our house to be able to tell them. I kind of feel like knew that you would know. And you did already basically know.
Yeah,
Like, I knew it wasn't. Well,
it was still a surprise.
Yeah, it's still a surprise, but I don't think, like, I was expecting.
Like a shocked reaction.
So, I mean, it wasn't like, oh my word, she does not see this coming.
Yeah. But it still was like, okay, wow, this is actually, like, happening. Like, because you don't really know until you, like.
Exactly. You can speculate all you want. But you don't know.
Well, and there were some conversations where I was like, wow, like, maybe you are not. And so, yeah, I was still a little bit surprised. Also, I feel like we've talked about this before, how it's, like, maybe hot take, but it's kind of annoying when, like, you tell somebody you're pregnant and, like, the first thing they say is, like, I knew it. Like, I don't know why that's always kind of been, like, okay, it's not really about you or, like, how good you are at predicting things. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, it feels like you're, like, making it about yourself. I don't know why. It's always been my thing. And so I told Keegan, I was like, I'm not, like, I don't want to say that or be, like, I might say, like, oh, I wondered, I was starting, or something. Yeah. And, like, Oliver basically pulled out the ultrasound. I don't know what he said, like, something like, well, we have something.
I don't know.
It wasn't anything crazy. And I was, like, immediately, like, I knew it.
I didn't even care. And I felt the same way. Is that, like, I don't know, it's annoying when people are like, I knew it, like, as soon as you told them. But, like, I'm sure some people told us that when we told them, and I wasn't that big of a deal.
No. Well, and I think it was more, like, because there's a couple times where I was like, well, Jayla's, like, I would just kind of, like, talk about, like, that you're pregnant. I'm like, well, I guess we don't know. And Keegan would sometimes be like, okay, you're kind of, like, you don't actually know. Like, you've really been speculating about this. And I kind of, like, wondered if you were going to tell us when we came over. So I was telling Keegan, and, like, I mean, he kind of was like, maybe. But, like, it was more just, like, okay, I was right. Like, yes. Because sometimes I'd be like, am I just overthinking some of these things? And so it was more like, okay, yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
you finally have it confirmed.
For one time, my intuition. But.
And also, I'll just say this, too. I don't know if some people can relate or not. I did not really like telling people. I was excited to tell people, but, like, I wanted Oliver to do the telling.
Yes, that was something that surprised me.
The telling other people. It was just kind of like, oh, I don't want to do it. Like, you do it. And it was interesting. I saw a reel about it later on. Like, someone, I guess, who agreed with me, like, how awkward it is or something. I'm like, okay, yes. Like, that is how I felt. And so, I don't know. I feel like I would have, like, you think. It's like this for probably a lot of people. Like, you're so excited to be, like, pull out the ultrasound, but, like, for me it was like, oh my god, like, I don't want to be the one to do it.
Gave you some anxiety.
Like, it was just like, I just want to get it over with kind of thing.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I don't know.
Even though it was very, like, it's obviously very exciting for people to know, but yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I guess we will wrap it up here. We'll probably be talking a lot about pregnancy and motherhood in the upcoming episodes, but it won't become completely that. Obviously, I'm not mom, so we'll also talk about
other things too.
Yeah. So, thank you for following along, and be sure to follow us over on Instagram. Subscribe if you're not already, if you watch us on YouTube. Rate us on the podcast app if that's where you listen. All the things. We appreciate your support, and yeah, we're excited about this next chapter.
Yep.
So we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.